They gone down. Moving up a click, moving up a click. Moving up a click, moving up a click. Going on the click, going on the click. All about my moolah, all about my moolah. Word, T-bird, I ain't never get that girl. Moving up a click, moving up a click. Going on the click, going on the click. All about my moolah, all about my moolah. Word, T-bird, I ain't never get that girl. Moving up the track, moving up the track, going on the track, going on the track. All about my moolah, all about my moolah. Word, you heard, I ain't never seen a moving up the track, moving up the track, going on the track, going on the track. All about my moolah, all about my moolah. I got one, two, three,
What up, B?
Ain't shit. What's up with you?
Ain't shit. Figure we start off with a little, give a little bit of little exercise, a little workout.
Right, little crank.
You know what I mean? From the stage view on at the spring fling. You know what I mean? Down Legion was live. If you wasn't down there, you missed some live shit. What's good though, people? What's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. We back another week. Yeah, freeze pop chant.
So I do when I'm home, yo. Eat fucking free pops.
Word. That's all you eat though is freeze pops, B.
Only eat dinner.
Yeah, yeah, right. You know you eat hot dogs too. Stop, man. you know what? It was actually I was on Twitter Spaces the other day.
Happy
It was
birthday,
actually
Paul.
today, Paula's birthday.
Yesterday.
Happy
I
birthday,
think it was
Paula.
yesterday.
But I was on Twitter Spaces yesterday. No, Sunday. I was on Twitter Spaces, and it was a conversation. The conversation was about the whole pause thing and what people like with certain foods and shit. And a lot of people made some good points, and one of those points was like, it's more pause to me to film somebody trying to eat a hot dog or a banana than it is the person that's actually eating the hot dog or the banana. So when you look at that, you like it actually makes sense because you're actually recording somebody doing it. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like, well, when you kind of break it down that way, it makes sense. But end of the day, it's all relative. It all depends. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
I wonder how eating a hot dog turned into a motherfucking like national anthem or some type shit. Glizzy. Like
Yeah.
motherfuckers be at cookouts act like they don't eat glizzies.
And that's what somebody was saying. It was like, yo, like niggas will really go to a cookout and like get a hot dog and go hide and eat the bitch.
Eat that bitch in the porta john.
Right, so don't nobody catch them eating the joint. But ultimately, like I said, it would seem to me like it's a little bit more pause to sit and wait for somebody to eat a hot dog so you can say something about it.
I think that shit funny, especially when
Yeah.
it's all in how you eat it. Like you eat yours like this, and I don't like that. You know?
Like, man, I got you. Shots fired. I got you.
I don't like
Shots fired.
that shit.
I got you. Shots fired. That's gravy though. It is what it is.
Remember, dude, they
Okay.
took a picture of the dude at the
Yeah.
baseball game.
Hell yeah. Your boy Tank. Two-hand Tank.
Like Tank, man, hey, Tank gay is a bitch. We love her. No, real talk. Look.
Larry. Big swole head. Get right to it. We're gonna welcome
Me
my
and Janelle
homeboy
know,
with the
right?
Christmas ornament head, Larry Lindsay.
Hey, me and Janelle goes to the Erykah Badu show a couple years ago, right? And Tank there. And I seen a video on one video, he talking about in his show, he telling dudes ain't no harm in getting your ass licked and finger in your butt, all this other gay ass shit. I'm like, you stop this fucking music to say that shit, you know what I mean? He gay as a bitch.
Tank is the same dude that basically said he would try giving head to a dude twice to see if he like it or not. So
He
anyway,
already did. Ain't
we're
no
gonna,
dude
yeah,
who can tell you that. He already tried
right.
that shit.
We're gonna go ahead and leave Two-hand Tank in the win.
You eat a hot
Hey.
dog like this and talk about giving head and getting, man, fuck out here. Tank gay as a bitch.
Wow. But we tonight decided to go ahead and have a conversation. I had tried for a couple of weeks to see who wanted to participate and be a part of the conversation. Ain't nobody really get back at me, so we're gonna still have this conversation anyway. Those of y'all that's in there, please share the live stream, so that way people can watch it. But anyway, the conversation about Black fathers. Now, yesterday I was watching YouTube and I ran across a story where the dude was suing for paternity for a boy that was supposed to be his son. Now, he went to prison for 5 years for failure to pay child support for this son. And, he went through that whole thing. And to make a long story short, the mother knew he wasn't the father. And she had the blood test done with the dude who she knew was the father and put the results on this dude, this other guy.
That's a criminal act.
She didn't go to jail for it either.
They never do.
So
that's a criminal act.
That I was watching that and I was so pissed off. I was like, yo, the bad part about it is the dude really wanted to be a good dad. You know what I mean? He just wanted to make sure that was his son. So I said, we got to stop avoiding the conversation. Maybe I can talk to the moms, you know what I mean? Try to do the single dad check-in, like I said, but it went however. So now we're just gonna have the conversation in general. And I went live yesterday and I said, what should we talk about tomorrow? And somebody chimed in and was like, talk about the dudes who out here doing their best to be dads. That was Gage, matter of fact. I said, all right, bet. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. The conversation, we're gonna talk about black fathers. Now, we both black fathers.
As a motherfucker.
You know what I mean? Your children are adults. You got grandchildren. I got one adult, 2 teenagers. And a lot of times, I'm not going to say we get overshadowed because I don't feel like it's getting overshadowed because as a father, you're just supposed to do that shit anyway. But I do feel like a lot of times, it's easier to talk about the fathers who don't do shit.
Mm-hmm. That's the shit.
It is to praise the ones who are doing what they're supposed to do. So, I mean, even I've done it before. But that's also coming from a place of observation and seeing it over the years. And seeing my dad operate and knowing what type of father I wanted to be as opposed to the type of dad my dad was. Like, my dad wasn't a bad dad, but it was things that he did as a father that I decided as a father I probably wouldn't do, which is like most, you know what I mean? So, but again, that in no way takes away from his fathering skills. Like I said, not the perfect dad at all, but no dad is perfect. But we a lot of times tend to shy away from that, and I think a lot of times it's because society puts that I'm trying to think of the right word. Society puts that
stigma
on men that if you're a good dad, you're supposed to be a good father. We have to congratulate you for being a good father, but we congratulate mothers all the time for being good mothers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We congratulate, like I said, we congratulate moms all the time. Their mothers, especially if they're single moms. Like, I salute. My mom was single at one point raising me, and I know I was raising hell like a motherfucker. So I get it. But now being a father, it's no way that I could eliminate fatherhood and what I've learned from it and how I've grown from it. And I think I do a good job. You know what I mean? You raised your children to adults now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they successful in the world and they doing their thing. So, by that, you've done a great job. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna ask you. Yeah, that's right.
Give me my.
No. You know what I mean? Why not? The fuck? Like, that's real shit. But like, people always say like when I have conversations with females about deadbeats, when they say like y'all need to talk to y'all, I say you can't say that to me because I don't hang around dudes that don't take care of their children. So I don't know how to associate with anybody else or a person that doesn't. And that's something that Ice, what up, Ice? You jumping in, yo? Already send you the link, yo. But yeah, we you know, we gotta start we gotta start showing praise, yo. We gotta start giving praise where praise is due, bro. And like I said, this is not to diminish or take away from any women or mothers or anything, but we're not gonna sit here and act like there's not some dope ass fathers out here that's out here every day getting up, going to do what they gotta do just to take care of their family. You know what I mean? And actually being there, being fathers. You know what I mean? Not just monetary. And this is not just biological fathers. This is also, like I said, we can't say step parents. So I say bonus parents, bonus dads, grandfathers, because there's a lot of grandfathers that take that father role and raise their grandsons and granddaughters like they father, like they own children. You got them uncles out there who, by some reason, however the father is not able to be there, they step up, whether it's through death or the father may be incarcerated or just whatever. But they step up and they become a father figure. And it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot to do that. But again, so that's why I said I'm gonna ask you, like, when you think of black fatherhood, what pops up in your mind? What comes to mind when you think of that?
Me personally, first thing is like you said, it's parenting is one of the most natural things that's done on earth. That's why so many people struggle when they with not being taken care of by their dad or mom. I don't know how they get to that point. No matter what happens in life, I don't know how you get to the point where though you're gonna not take care of your child. With the fact that I don't think that motherhood overshadows us, because I think that it's like it became almost natural for a dad not to be in a kid's life, and that rode with us forever. I always say, everything don't need a response. And when people say stuff like, all black men are deadbeat dads, I don't have to get on there and say, no, they're not, because you're not referring to me at all. So I care less what you say. But what I'm saying, what does happen is, being that so many dads have left, it's like it's a high praise for a woman to have that success. And she deserve it. Not taking nothing from her, she deserve it, because parenting itself is not easy at all, and it's totally not fair that one person has to raise their kids by themselves. And I'm not talking about the ones that you split and then y'all still helping each other and co-parenting. I'm talking about straight up deadbeat parents. That's a terrible thing. But we do, as men. What up, B?
What's happening? What's happening?
Ain't shit. A lot of what we do as men is like, we want to, when you go to work and you do a good job and you sitting down and you taking care of everything you want to, you don't need your boss to come up to you every time you do something and say good job. But damn if it don't feel good when they do. And that's one of the biggest things with men. It's like y'all act like we don't have feelings. Like, if somebody come up to us and say, or is there the Facebook post that come up and say on Father's Day, you got women saying, oh, I'm a father and a mother. You don't have a penis. You're not. then you it's always a cutoff from the taken from the man's shine. Let us shine too, because I make sacrifices too. You know what I mean? Your sacrifices ain't no more than mine, except for when you land on that table giving birth. That's a special sacrifice. That's the only sacrifice that you made more than mine. Cause I'm a father and I'm a real man with mine. And I struggle through the same shit of raising my kids financially, mentally, spiritually, whatever lead that there is, I was there with them. So let us get our shine too and stop jumping out there acting like y'all super, because I raised my son. His mom ain't a deadbeat parent. I had Mike, and she thought that was a good idea for me to keep him, but she supported him. You know what I mean? So it was, and thank God Joy popped in too at the right time, because Joy helped out with my son too. So I had a good supporting cast. But let us, we want to hear good things too. We want to hear, good job too. You know what I mean? It ain't important that, we don't need to hear it from you, but honestly, it's a good thing to hear that you did a good job. Mothers always getting their glory. Let us get glory too. Men like to pop their collars too, ladies.
Right.
Ice.
What's happening?
Because you jumped in when Mikey was asking a question, so I'm gonna ask you now. When I say the word Black fatherhood, what comes to mind?
Man, the first thing comes to my mind when I say Black fatherhood, I automatically go back to thinking about what I didn't have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was around here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew who he was. He was in and out, but like, he didn't really become a part of my life until I was in maybe 8th or 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is like, me thinking about fatherhood, like when I became a father, my whole world changed. Like literally everything changed. Like, I used to be a selfish person because I was spoiled. Having a kid turned me into a giving person. Like automatically when my daughter was born, the first thing came to my mind was like, it ain't about me no more. It ain't never gonna be just about me anymore. So fatherhood to me has always been, is not just about me anymore. I have to do, I have other people to take care of that depend on me. Even though at one point in time, they become adults, but they still your kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was like the most important thing that I ever done. I honestly, you know what I'm saying? Not to take away from no other accomplishment or anything going on in my life. Like, being a father has been the best thing I ever accomplished.
I would have to agree.
And to piggyback on what Mikey was saying, man, my wife, we was just having that conversation upstairs, how the women be jumping out there on Father's Day. Like, it's so sickening because, like, first of all, most of us dads don't even really, like, I don't even look forward to Father's Day. It's not one of them things where I'm like, yeah, Father's Day coming. I'm not that dude. You know what I'm saying? For one reason is because it's never like they have never made it where it was like that real good celebratory. Now, mind you, I have good people around me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what up, Black C? You watching?
I can't speak on that baby mama drama, that blah blah blah. The bullshit I went through with my baby mothers was relationship shit. It had nothing to do with the kids. So I can't really speak on baby mama drama or whatever, but I know that it's been a rack of Father Days in the past that it was just another damn day. If it wasn't for the fellas in the hood and us celebrating each other, it wouldn't even be nothing. because coming up there on 20, we all had kids, and we all made sure on that day we celebrated each other. Like that's what really made me start liking Father's Day again, because it was something to look forward to with the fellas. It really wasn't about getting the gifts or stuff like that or anything special, because just be honest, society just don't look at Father's Day the way they look at Mother's Day.
Real shit.
Can't hear you, Mike.
Can't hear you, Mikey. Can't hear you.
And can you hear me now? Yo, real talk.
You're good.
Fuck all that. I can't wait till Father's Day. My kids be giving me good shit, and I be pissed off if I don't get nothing. I take care of them. I need something. I'm telling you, birthdays come, Father's Day, Christmas, all them shits I did for them. Yeah, I need something. I need to call you up. I
get that, and I appreciate the gifts and all of that, whether I get them or not or whatever. But it's almost like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be transparent right quick. I ain't gonna forget my very first Father's Day, yo. So, me and my sister daughters are a month and a half apart. So some hurts just don't never go away, yo. And I remember like everybody making a huge big deal about my sister's first Mother's Day. I mean, like,
right.
It was my sister's first Mother's Day. Oh, we gotta do this and we gotta do that. So I'm sitting there like, Father's Day right behind it, my shit coming. I know they gonna do it. I'm paying for me.
Hey, that's that comment. That's Ricky, the Professor Johnson. Hey, Rick, you want to join us? Or I'll send you the link.
Hey, bro.
You want to join us? Let me know.
You know what hurt me to my core? My mother ain't tell me Happy Father's Day on my first Father's Day.
Right there, you not thinking.
Now, mind you, I didn't carry it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really only told a couple people that it bothered me. You know what I'm saying? But it really bothered me because, and I don't even think it was malicious or anything like that, because my mother was nothing like that. It's just to show that Father's Day just wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
I ain't, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't never ever get my father nothing for Father's Day. Because like I said, it was nothing celebrated. For one, I ain't never seen him on Father's Day. You know what I mean? Like, to keep it a man. So I ain't never see the nigga on no holiday.
That's why I want my shit to be special. Because everything I did and all the sacrifices I made, I want that awareness. Not just because it's a celebration and you get kudos, but I sacrificed a lot as a father. I sacrificed a lot. My kids didn't ask to be here, but I did.
True.
And I stepped up to my responsibility. So the same way you expect something on Christmas, which is a little man-made holiday, the same way you expect us to go out and buy you clothes on Easter, which is a holiday, I do expect something. Even if you could give me a card, you could do something, but you gotta do something for me. It don't feel right. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm cool with that shit at all. And I will say something like, fuck all that shit. I sacrificed. I put everything for them first. And you can't tell me you can't buy me a Father's Day gift. You could buy me 6 crabs. You could buy me a big ass steak.
I'd rather have the acknowledgement though, Mike.
I want a gift.
I'd rather have the acknowledgement.
Yeah. I want everything that come with it. I don't give a fuck if it's a $2 watch. One of them motherfucking ring pops. You buy me a ring pop. I want something to recognize that I was your goddamn dad, and I think I deserve that. I don't care how, and I address my kids.
Hey, one thing I say Father's Day, Kamala always say, what do you want to do? She's like, if you don't want nobody, you want to go by yourself, go by yourself. If you want whatever. She always asks me that. What do you want to do for Father's Day? So I will say it is very much acknowledged.
I always wanted to make sure that they seen me. And now, no matter what happens, I gotta be my grandbabies on, my grand angels on Father's Day. If y'all want to run around here, because they got lives too. Y'all want to run around here, come see me, and then go be with your boyfriends or your other side of your family. I'm cool with that. If I'm in town and my grandkids in town, drop them off and do y'all thing. Because I'm a dad. That shit is important. And the reason why it's so important to me is because I didn't get to celebrate a dad like they did. I need that shit. Anything that you get from your kids is a good gift to me. Even if you made me a card, you could make me a card with a folded up piece of paper and write "I love you" on there. That's perfect.
Facts.
No, I get you. I get you. And I mean, the thing about it is, like, my folks always took care of me, no matter what female I was with, or, you know, gifts from my kids, from my baby mothers, from my kids, so on and so forth, or whatever. All of that was cool. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just some shit I just never got over, bro. What?
Fuck that.
All right, well, I'm on a call. Go ahead about your business.
I'm gonna need mine.
As long as it's quiet, go.
What's that? Look. Fatherhood.
Look, a couple weeks before, I called up, start putting in bids, especially to my son. Dad, oh shit! Look, this year they all gave me money to get my motorcycle painted
That's what's
for my
up.
birthday. I called them up, and y'all, you know, just how much it costs to get my motorcycle payment. It's for y'all. Break that shit up. They look out because they know it. I look out. I'm not gonna let Father's Day come and then, oh y'all, we ain't get you nothing. Nah, I called you 2 weeks before. You think I'm bullshitting? I ain't playing with that shit, man. Hey, y'all crazy.
Hey, yo, look, right?
Man, I was putting in my bed, bro.
Like I said, I don't. It all for me. Like, I'm glad that we can have this conversation and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all in the comments, if you know what I mean, and dads out there in the comment, like I said, you want to join in, just hashtag Let Me Talk. I'll send you the link. But I just feel like,
boy, get off that table.
It's a bigger stigma put on us because, like, every movie, damn near every movie you see, when it's a black child, the father not in the picture.
Oh, that's the shit.
Damn near I ain't saying every movie, but damn near every movie we see.
Exactly, Vita.
Where it's a black family involved, or the father is not, he cheating on the mother, or he abusive. Like, it's very rare we see the normal shit that we see. Like, we know each other and we see how each other raise our kids and our families. So why is it that difficult for us to see that on TV?
But that's white media. That's the white people doing that shit on them fucking radio. I mean, on them you know, that shit been going on forever. Cause you know that's what you don't remember, that's why James Evans,
that's why he left Good Times.
He left Good Times because they were turning JJ into a coon, and then they didn't want they actually didn't want James on there anymore. And Florida told them that Florida Evans got James on there from the beginning.
Yeah.
But she said that they needed James on there because they don't see that.
Yeah.
So that shit been going on forever, yo.
And told him if he couldn't stay, she wasn't gonna stay on the show.
Exactly. And then when he left, when James left, the ratings actually went down. And they tried to bring Cole on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that shit is that's the mind fuck of the world. Because if you look now, they're doing the same thing with biracial relationships and homosexuality. All commercial, pay attention to all commercials. You never see two black people happily on commercials. It's always a gay couple or it's an interracial relationship. But anyway, back to the regular topic. But that's why you see that shit. That's the mind fuck of the world. They don't want us to see. All they ever want our kids to keep saying is broken homes. One thing they don't show is even though my dad and my mom wasn't together for the whole entire time I was alive, they never divorced. And being that they couldn't be together, they was like really, really good friends. Um, my mom and my stepdad, I mean, my mom and my stepmother were really, really good friends for a long, long time. You know what I mean? I'm sure they probably had some type of beef back in the day that we don't know about, but fuck it, that ain't my business. But all I know is like my stepmom treated me like she's treated me really good, and they don't show that stuff. So but it all falls down to it all boils down to the fact that the reason why so many women get the praise because so many men didn't take care of their kids, yo. And that's why they always say to us, shit, you supposed to take care of your kids anyway. Yeah, you're 1000% right. Like I said, I got friends that are deadbeats. I don't know how they do it because they're all good men. I can't even say they're good men because of that part, but they were good dudes, and I don't know how they just don't take care of their kids. So I don't know their situation. I don't like to speak on their situation because some crazy shit happened before about me speaking my mind about shit. But
So,
what it
so
all
Mike,
comes down to, if you ain't taking care of your seeds, that's you know you ain't shit.
I got something to say about that one right there. Sort of, kind of like. So what about the financial dads? Like what about the dads who think that long as you taking care of your kid financially, you doing your part?
There's nothing.
You
That's
know,
what my
I
dad
mean,
said to me.
no. The thing about it is, like, some guys feel like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at one point in time, you know, it's no book to this, and if you ain't been around a father, you don't really know what it's like to take care of a kid. So to me, when I became a father, my main thing was financial, but I did not realize how much I missed out of my child's life because I was running the streets, you know what I'm saying, trying to get money to take care of her. Like, my child ain't never want for nothing growing up, but I missed a lot of events, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people get ridiculed because they might, you know, do their financial part, but they not there. And then
Ricky
there's the
wanna
opposite. A lot of dudes get ridiculed because they can be there, but they don't have the financial. So it's like, what actually makes a deadbeat?
Man, listen. To me, I don't give a fuck. Like you said, there's no book to parenting, but it's a natural reaction. A damn lion don't have a book. Elephants don't have books. It's human nature. It's animal nature. We have to have seeds and we take care of them. You don't have to do shit, honestly. You don't have to take care of nothing. But as a human being, you know damn well from past shit you've seen, from shit you done been through, that is not good for a child to not have both of their parents in their life. My dad told me, he said, Mikey, I send your mother money all the time for you. How many times have you watched me play football? How many times did I look out in the fucking stands looking for you and you weren't there? How many times you came to my plays and my gymnastics meets? So you can keep that money because she needed the money. Cause I ain't need the money because I already had food. I ain't know nothing about that shit. I had food. I had goddamn shoes and clothes on my back. They wasn't the best of things. But one thing I will tell you that I didn't have my father in my life, no support. So you could keep all your money. That shit didn't mean shit to me. That shit meant shit to my mom. So when you was giving that money and you wasn't spending time, that ain't mean shit to your child. Like you say, you miss so much shit. You think that just because his mother got him, you got to remember the mental part going on in his brain because there's a spiritual connection between y'all. It ain't just those questions that are inside of you. That shit pop in your head every fucking day. It was times I'd be in the middle of a fucking run while I'm running the football, and the first thing I think about is my dad in there, and it felt like I was running forever. You know, I score a touchdown and I look around, he's not there. Then I'm like, oh, I can't even be super happy because he told me he was coming and he didn't show up. All that's mind, that fucks with your mind. That money shit, you can give all the money you want. What about your kid? Your kid cannot handle. Your kid cannot handle being around his mother all the time. Your kid cannot. A boy cannot tolerate being with his mom all the time. It's not human naturally possible because they're boys. I mean, they're men and women, and they still have the same clashes going on. There's no fucking way that you could tell me that every second you spent with your mom was a good one.
No, and the thing about it is like, the thing about it is like, I can honestly say, each one of my kids got a different part of me and a different experience. And the sad part about it is, the older I got, the better I got. So it's like, the younger my son now, he get so much more of me than my other two kids did. But my middle son got way more than my daughter did. And the sad thing about it, she resents them for that. And it wasn't their fault, but I was a boy trying to be a man, and I didn't know how to.
That's the main thing right there. That's what I was gonna say to you.
I was a boy trying to be a man. Yeah. So when my first son was born, my daughter was born, I was 18. When my son was born, I was about 24. So I had been through some things. I grew up, and on top of that, I was with my son's mother. So that played a whole different part. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, one of the reasons I didn't leave that relationship when I left it was because I didn't want to leave. I felt like I was doing a disservice by leaving and being a co-parent, because my son was 6 years old and he didn't know how it was to not have me in the house. So, I stayed in a bad situation for years so I could be around my son. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like, and as I got older, when I had my son now, it was not the same situation, but I took everything from the past to get to the point where it's like, co-parenting is not bad when you got a good co-parent on the other side. Like, you know what I mean? That's the point right there. If you got a good co-parent on the other side, it's not bad at all. Not once have I ever said I'm a single dad. Yes, it's been times when my son would be with me 5 days a week and with his mom too, but he would see her probably 4 of those 5 days that he was with me, because that's how we co-parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just because you have your child most of the time don't mean you a single parent. And some people, try to play that role. I was never a single parent. You know what I'm saying? Not one time.
That's a big deal. But hold on, fellas, before we go on, we got Ricky, Professor Johnson on here. Want to introduce
What's up, sir?
What's going on, man?
How y'all doing?
All right.
How about you?
I'm good. Little man's in bed, so I'm all right.
So I can start you off with the same question. When you think of fatherhood, what comes to mind when you think of fatherhood?
When you think of fatherhood, what comes to mind? I mean, I guess for most of us, you would want to think of protection. You would want to think of, guidance. I mean, if I think about my father, protection and being down for your family was the number one thing. Like, I knew that we mattered to him. I knew he would, drop anything, for us. I know there's times he completely lost his preacher mind to defend the family or fight somebody because, he felt like they were being disrespectful. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, protection and guardianship is the first thing that comes to me when I think about fatherhood. But then, if you go beyond just protection, I mean, you got to think about just, love. And with love, it's not just the happy feelings of love. It's being able to, make a person feel like they matter. a father needs to make their children feel like they matter. Regardless of whatever your relationship is with the mother, the children need to feel like they matter to the father.
Exactly.
So that's what I meant when it comes to fatherhood.
And that's why I was saying, but that money, yo, you can send that money all you want, but if they don't feel like he said like they matter, because that's what felt like to me. I actually spent my whole entire life thinking my dad disliked me, hated me. When I started fixing my relationship with him, he ain't even have it in his spirit to hate nobody.
There's
he
a
ain't
whole
have
lot
it
of
in him to discipline.
I'm sorry, my fault.
No,
There's
you
a
good.
whole lot of absentee fathers who in the house, and all they do is provide money. So money does not provide love. It
At
will
all.
provide, it gives you sustenance. It can take care of your food and all that stuff. But paying all the bills does not mean you love the kid. But at the same time, you can love your kid all day long, but yet they still need shoes. They still need clothes. So you got to have a balance of the two. You have to be present mentally and financially. It's both. But it's not just just trying to floss them. It's trying to make sure that my kid is provided for.
Right.
Security, man. Being there shows security too. Because you feel secure when you around your pops. You know what I mean? And not having to feel like you gotta protect your mom. Like it was times I felt like I had to be the man in the house for her.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck I'm gonna be a man in the house? I ain't got a job. You know what I mean? I'm too young to be worrying about all that shit.
Hey, Mike.
How hard it is hearing her cry in the motherfucking room and shit.
So
that shit frustrating.
Hold on, Ice, because I was ready. That's one of the next one. Do you think that when the father's not in the house, emotionally, sometimes the mother can put that title on the son?
Oh, I don't think that. That's definite. Like man, my middle son, man. Like it hurt me to see him not be a kid because he always felt like he had to look after his mother, and like no matter how many times I'm like, Dante, you a kid. Like the stuff you worrying about, you don't need to be worried about. Like we got this. You know what I'm saying? But it also made me feel like, man, did I make the right choice by leaving? You know what I'm saying? But I was a much better father outside the house to him than I was inside the house because I was miserable. I mean, like straight miserable. But my son always felt like he had to be like Mike said, be his mother man and not her son. And it's like, you 10, 12 years old, you need to be a kid, but you worrying about things that grown people worry about and you shouldn't have to. And I don't know, no matter what I say to her to, talk to him or whatever, no matter how many times we talk to him or anybody else, he still took on that role because it's like he felt like he had to be his mom protector.
Man, the stuff goes back to you gotta look beyond the way things are and how they should be. Sex was made for married people to have to bring children into this earth and carry family on. The way we did it is not the natural way of doing it. It became that way. So just imagine y'all married, things going good, all your kids in the household. Not everybody will turn out right, but that's basically what you want in life. That's what that's what we were looking for.
That don't always work, Mike.
Shit, I know. That's why I say everybody don't be good. But you got to think about this. We was 18 years old having kids. Your brain, the thinking part of your brain as men don't develop until you're like 26, 27 years old. So how the fuck you gonna make good decisions when your brain ain't fully developed? And now you got another child in your spirit. And you got all these motherfucking different women with that soul ties and shit going all through your brain. It's so much shit we do because one of the most disrespected things on life in the world is time. And we do it because we do things before we become adults. We adults at 18 years old. It can't happen. It's not natural, but you don't have no choice. So all you're doing is taking on the role of an adult, but you're not physically an adult. You're not physically capable of making those good decisions right away at that age.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you that you're not at 18. You're not equipped to be a man, especially a man of the house. I mean, and I'm saying that now, finally hitting the 40. Looking back, it's like, yo, at 18, 21, I was still a kid.
Right.
Yeah, I know a lot of us, we might have been out on our own or whatever, but it's like you really didn't start, really understanding manhood to some of us until you get into like your 30s and stuff like that. When you're really able to look back and have more wisdom to you.
Your brain fully don't develop until your ass is 26,
right.
27 years old. And that's the most important part of your brain, the thinking, the decision-making process. And for females, it's a little bit earlier, but think of all the things that you put in there, which is damaging. And then you got to make decisions of an adult. You're not even built as an adult. You wasn't even fully out of your pubic stages. I didn't even have no fucking hair on my face when I seen that picture of Breon. When I see that picture of me holding Breon, you gotta remember, I just turned 18. She's 18 years younger than me. 18. I was born in January. She was born in goddamn April. She was 4 months, not even 4 whole months. I had no hair on my face. I looked, my face was clear. I was like, damn, yo, I look like a fucking kid. And that's what I was. And I'm trying to make decisions.
We were kids, bro.
Exactly. That's why when you said the thing that you was talking about, how the other kids didn't get get the same thing that you got from your son getting, you speaking of evolution. So you cannot be sad about that. You cannot, it's your fault that you had a baby when you was young, but it would be way more sadness to your faults if you was to do they the same way you did them.
Yeah.
Because you're a man now. And I'm not saying you did anything bad, but even with Bree, sometimes, shit, I was still going to high school basketball games. Remember, I had the car with Bree. I used to take Bree. We all in the car, drive them all fast and shit with her in the car seat, you know what I mean? Going to A-High games, following all that. I'm like, damn, it's just, but like I said, you got to remember, you evolved into a better dad. So, damn all that. What's sad about it? You made your mistakes. We all made our mistakes, but you gotta remember, we was fucking kids, yo. That's why I'm so glad my daughters waited till they was a little bit older to have kids. Both of my daughters, one of them 31. She had a daughter when she was 26. And my other child, I can speak on it now. She had twins coming soon. I just kept telling them, like, look what we went through as parents. And we did our best. They didn't see our struggle. We wouldn't let them see our struggle. But that shit was a struggle, bro. Going to school, I was still going to school. And then I got shot a couple months after she was born. I'm still running the streets. You know what I mean? And then go home and look at her and know that I'm a dirty ass dude. I'm out here still grinding in these streets and looking at my daughter like, damn, I'm not good for you. But I was good enough to have unprotected sex. So you got to take care and man up and do your job. All that shit that them dudes be talking, that shit excuses to me. From where I came from, hustling, robbing, doing all this dirt in the street. I got shot 3 months after my daughter was born. Walking, then my mom made me take care of her. My mom was like, look, sometimes I want to go to the go-go. She like, nah, you stand your ass home. Every time she did that shit, it was a big shootout at that go-go. I'm home crying with my daughter. Man, I can't go out. Next thing I know, I'm like, I'm dead. I didn't go. I was on the front line. But parenting is one of the most natural things that should be done. There's no fucking way on earth, and I'm gonna cut it, that you dudes out here that did not have your dad in your life should come out here and do the same exact thing was done to you. You're a fucking coward.
I'm gonna say this, and that was where I was gonna go next, because that's something I always see too. Like, if you watched your mom struggle with you all her life, why would you want to put your child's mother through the same thing? Why would you want to do that? Is that, and because for me, honestly, and I'm gonna say this, and I might be wrong, and this may be an unpopular statement, but you can't blame not having your father in your life but for so fucking long, bro.
Right.
Like, how long can you blame your dad not
Right.
being in your life and you making bad decisions as a father? Like you can't do that when the child's 25. Look, man, I ain't never had my. You had 25 years to work on it.
That's all it means for you to even be there even more.
So
That's the way I look at it. Like,
some
I mean,
people
you know what I'm saying?
You have some people that'll say like, yo, like, but if you didn't have nobody to show you how to be, like, I get it. But when you have a child, what makes you automatically, I wonder what makes them automatically revert back to that place of feeling that helplessness. Like, I can't do this because I didn't see it. Like somebody was talking about the Cosby Show. You know what I mean? Like we watched the Cosby Show growing up. And we watched what was the other one?
Family Matters.
Family Matters. We watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Jeffersons.
What else? The Jeffersons. What else? You see what I'm
Good
saying?
Times.
227, Good Times, Amen. Like, so we saw examples. But at what point do we say, all right, look, man, we gotta break this cycle? At what point do we break the cycle and stop fixing the chain and keeping the bike? You know what I mean? And what can we do? What can we do as fathers to push that narrative further? What can we do as dads to push that narrative to our friends that we see out here not really doing what they could be doing for their kids? I'm gonna start with you on that one, Ricky.
What can we do to push the narrative?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you got that answer, then I got a spot for you at church.
Beat them. Hit them with a. That's it.
I mean, all you can do is just you just have to set the example. So what I'm hearing from all of y'all, and except for Dante, I really don't know you gentlemen, as well as I would like to. So all that to say that from what I'm hearing from you, I mean, it sounds like everybody has matured, everybody has learned, everybody's being a good dad. So all you can do is just continue to set the example. And people do watch. People do watch to see how you interact with your kids. People you're not even paying attention to is watching how you do it. All we can do is just set the example. I mean, that's the best we can do, and just do it through our own actions, and hopefully it will be emulated. I mean, you can't try to make people come out to a men's seminar to learn how to be fathers. Let me tell you, it kind of sucks. You're not going to get but so many bros out there, and most of the bros that are going to come are the ones that already know how to do it. All you can do is just set an example and let people see it. As best you can do, and set an example for your own sons. So that way when they get older, they will follow what dad did and try to be a good example for their children as well.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry that sounded so after Sunday school special, but that's the best I got for you right now.
Nah, it's all good, man. Like,
nah, that's real.
This is a
real.
conversation. You know what I mean? So any information that we put forward is helpful.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Can I back up real quick? Because you said something, and Mike said something that I think needs to also be considered. Mike had mentioned about soul ties, and a lot of times when we think about soul ties, we just think about whoever you may have had sex with or whatever. That's how sometimes people preaching in the church. But I wanted to kind of challenge that thought. It's not so much about who have you had sex with, because that's a relationship, And if you broke up with them, and you have bad feelings, that ain't exactly a soul tie. That's just regret or grieving the relationship. A soul tie is something that can affect you whether you want to or not. The only relationship that can affect you whether you want it to or not is a parent's relationship. A relationship from a father or a non-relationship from a father, or a relationship from a mother or a non-relationship from a mother are the only things that I think can really affect you. Case in point, I know kids that their mom was strung out or whatever, or their dad was, doing whatever. If you ask them, would you rather go somewhere? Would you be safe, or would you rather stay with mom? They'd rather stay with mom, because there's a connection that can't be broken. So with fathers, we have, whether we're in the kid's life or not, that's a soul tie, and we're affecting by our presence or not by our presence. So you want to know how to break the cycle, we have to consider the soul tie that we have to the kid, because this is what you help to produce. Yep. You're tied to that because it came from you. It's your DNA that's walking around. So how do we break the stigma? We got to be mindful of what it is that we produce on this earth, and we need to be mindful. We need to be present. You know, even if it ain't completely financial, whatever, you still need to be emotionally and lovingly present for this child. You know, so that way they understand, you know, hey, you know, my dad was there for me. You know, we didn't have everything, but he had enough. He took care. You know, he watched out for me. That's how we hope to break the cycle.
Yeah. Cause it's all in you. It's like I said, there was questions that I had that I never knew where they were coming from. I wouldn't even be thinking about stuff. But as I got older, I started knowing where it came from. It was because we have a spiritual connection. I had no idea about all the spirituality stuff and none of that stuff when I was coming up grinding out in the streets. But there was always something that took over. And I couldn't figure it out. And then I kept saying, there's something. That something is God in the relationship that my dad had with my mom to make me. I come from him. So why wouldn't you take care of me if I come from you? If I come from you? That's the question that stayed in my head, because some people are mentally different. Like mentally, I'm always in my mind. I can actually... Like, I be talking to y'all right now, and I be thinking about 50 different other things. When I ever talk to people to absorb, I got to stare at them. If you ever talk to, you might notice that I look people in their face all the time when I'm having conversation. That's how I absorb energy, and I absorb what you're saying to me, because I'll be thinking about so many other things, and stuff like that will pop up in my head like, damn, I'm sitting here talking to y'all, laughing and joking, and then I'll be like, my dad ain't never take care of me. That shit just pop in my head. I wasn't thinking about that, but that's that spiritual connection, yo. You just don't know, and you don't know what the child. That's right. You don't know what the children are going through, and everybody like, you need calm down. You need... People told me I need grow up and all that shit. Like, bitch, I'm grown. I take care of everything I do. But whatever this was, I know what it is now because I'm older. But as I was coming up, I was always complaining about that shit. Like, people like, it ain't that serious. You know, your dad was a good man. He is a good man. He wasn't a good father. You can say what you want. He is my dad is a very good man. He became a good father to me when I got older. We squashed all that stuff, thank God, because, you know, now that he's gone, I'm suffering. I miss him every day. But I'm so glad we both was man enough to squash that beef. And that's what all of y'all need to do. You cannot continue to let your child go through suffering, because everybody ain't outspoken like me. Some people won't tell you what they went through like I will, but they won't tell you also that it was times I punched holes in my mom's wall and just out the blue, pow, just punched the wall. I took my anger out on other men. I could fight any man at any time because I would turn them into him. It was because of anger that was in me, and I had to release. You don't know what that child is holding on to. And then one time when they blow up on you, you think that it's just that moment. Nah, it's a whole bunch of moments that you missed. You just don't know what another person's holding in. I'm just an outspoken person. I can tell you everything I went through. I can tell you that it was many nights that I stood there and I cried and just was upset because when I first seen my daughter, I cried because I thought I was gonna fail like my father. That was the hardest thing for me to do. Every day I kept on saying, you gotta try something. Sometimes she would get me so upset because she was crying because she was a preemie. And I would lose my cool to myself, and I'm like, nah. You gotta be a better man than this. You gotta be a better dude than this. But I was battling with my dad and trying to be a dad at age 18. You gotta fix that relationship with your child. You just don't know what you're doing to them.
And it creates a dynamic that's terrible. Like, it leads to a lot of bad decisions, and just like, and I'm gonna tell you this, like, my mom and my pops, they was together up until I was about 13, which would have made my brother like 7 or 8 years old. When we moved to California, and I knew that my pops couldn't put his hands on me, yo, I mean, all out terror. everything, anything you can think of. And this is 7th, 8th grade. This 13 years old, 14 years old. It was all because I knew that he couldn't put his hands, he couldn't get to me if he had to. I'm all the way on the other side of the country. You know what I mean? We living in California. He's still here in Maryland. And a lot of times we see that dynamic take place too, where the child, the other parent is around, but they just not physically there and spiritually there. Like y'all said, mentally there. Like you around, you see your child, you know what I mean? Y'all hang out or whatever, but it doesn't get any deeper than that. Your child can't call you when they going through something because you're gonna be like, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, and a lot of times it is as a father. For me, like when my son asked me some of the most random shit, bro, and I'd be like, you gotta give me a minute. I gotta look that up first. I gotta Google some shit first. But I try not to ever let him or my daughters walk away. If they ask me a question, I try not to ever let them walk away without any type of answer. Because I feel like that if I can't give them the answer, they're gonna go find it from somewhere, and I don't know if I'm gonna like the place that they go find that answer.
Exactly.
From. Yeah. You know what I mean? So then we moved back to Maryland. Like my mother was absolutely like, yo, you got to go back now. Like it's too much now. You got to go back. And when we moved back, I told her I'm gonna go live with my dad because, like I told her, like you did what you could, but you know maybe I gotta be under his roof to understand the things that you want me to do. And that shit lasted for about a month. And I started wilding out. You know what I mean? Once I knew how to, and because one thing, my parents, they never spoke badly about each other, even though they wasn't together. And I knew they couldn't stand each other. But they never spoke bad about each other. But one thing they didn't really do, unless it was something with us being really, really seriously in trouble, they didn't communicate back and forth about us. So once I learned that I could play that fence in between, you know what I mean? And I could wild out over here with mom for a little bit. Then when I see she getting tired of that shit, then I go back over to dad's house. You know what I mean? Then once I see dad getting tired of that shit a little bit, then I jump back over to mom's. So I like I said, I think that, like y'all said, like being there, but actually being there, it plays a big part. Like just because you see them and y'all go out to eat and you take them to get haircuts and you buy them clothes and you do whatever, that doesn't mean that you're parenting. That just means that you're funding your child. You see what I'm saying? Like you're paying for everything they need. Mother ain't got to worry about buying nothing. But your son can't come to you and say, I'm having these feelings when I wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What is this about? You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
And he's left to figure that out and fend for himself. And then you looking at him at 15 and 16 years old trying to figure out, where did I go wrong? I did everything. You didn't do everything, though. Mm-mm. I mean, the importance of actually fathering and parenting, do you think that a lot of times that's more or less overshadowed by, like you said, just funding a child? But like, I mean, and I say funding, when I say funding, I mean like not just paying, because y'all said just paying money and not doing anything. But I'm saying like I said, paying for haircuts, clothes, whatever. You're doing those things physically. You're with the child doing those things. But when it comes to other shit, you're just not there mentally. And a lot of times I think that gets overshadowed because we look at like, no, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Like I've heard dudes say like, yo, I pay child support. What else am I supposed to do?
They cowards.
Like, that's crazy to me.
They're idiots.
There's a young man I'm mentoring right now who he's turning 18, he's about to go to college. He has a father in the house. The parents are married. So the dad is in the house. However, dad is completely detached from his son. He spent no time together. They didn't even, look at colleges together. He does nothing with the kid. at all. All he does is pay the bills. So I consider that, even though you pay,
That's just
that's
like y'all been there.
that's deadbeat.
It's the same thing. It's not
Right?
parenting.
Same thing. You're not parenting. You're in
I
the house.
mentored a kid like that too, Ricky. I had a kid who lived in the house with his dad,
Mhm.
and everybody in the program kept saying to him, like, you got your father home. One day this kid breaks down. Most heartbreaking thing ever. Why the fuck you care about me? My own dad live in my house and don't give a fuck about me.
Right.
I had to walk. I walked him all around me. He walking around me, cussing me out. He was a little bit too fast for me to keep chasing, so we got tired. I said, hey, but I couldn't leave him because
Right.
what he was saying, I knew, I felt everything of it. Then when he finally, I said, man, you got to stop and talk to me because I'm actually getting tired of walking. I'm going to go back, but I'm here for a reason. And I had to break it down to him. You know, I didn't know your situation. So now that I know your situation, I'm not going to give you the, I can't be the same with like I handle with other people. I got to talk to you a different way. So what I got to say to you is this: the image that we all have without our dads, we think a household is perfect when a dad home. He said, man, Mr. Mikey, that dude, sometimes in the house, I come in the house, he won't even talk to me. He won't even say hello. And you know how I feel when I'm ready to give him one of my ribbons or something, and he won't even acknowledge it. I said, damn. I said, yeah. I said, that's like a kick in the balls, bro. He like, how you? And then but I said, I can't say his name. Sorry, I almost said his name. I said, you gotta remember this. I told you everything about me and my dad. I didn't know nothing about you, and everybody else in the program don't have their dads in the house. And he said, I'm going through the same shit y'all going through. I said, that's crazy. I couldn't wait. I couldn't. When my kids left home, it was too damn quiet in here. You know what I'm saying? I even got frustrated because I don't have nobody to take care of. Don't nobody really ask me for much no more. I mean, they ask me for stuff, but it was hard for me to break away from the fact that they weren't needy every day. All I knew how to do was be a dad. When my son first left and he was gone, I was still cooking packs of chicken. You know what I'm saying? I'm wasting food. Like, damn. I don't get to hear him yell downstairs, make all that damn noise playing video games and all that shit. But that dude was suffering. He still is. From the same thing. I seen him not too long ago. He's on work release. And he's still suffering. And when he see me, all my young men always thank me for what I helped them with, because I was an open book for them. They weren't even they will go outside and fight the biggest human being on this earth and risk getting their ass whipped or killed. But they are so afraid to tell you that they have pain. Because don't nobody teach them how to deal with pain. If you keep pain stored inside your soul, it turns to anger. That's why I had anger issues. I thought I couldn't be sad. I thought I couldn't get upset. And I held it. And it turned into rage. When people think that I be joking, I had a beast in me. He was talking to me. That's supposed to be your dad. It was like, shit, before he hit you, you got to hit him. Pop, I'm hitting him. Before this happened, you got to do this. That shit was in me, bruh. I had to talk to that motherfucking shit for my whole entire life to stop me from being incarcerated or stop me from killing some damn body. Because all it was, I thought I was going crazy at one time. All it was I did not know how to hurt. I did not know how to feel pain. I did not know how to react to just being sad. I turned that shit into anger.
Let me know when y'all doing your next chat on Black mental health, because that's something that I preached one time, that a lot of times we don't know how to handle our anger. We're not allowed to voice our anger. We're not allowed to voice our sadness because we're men and men don't cry, or we're going to be a pussy or a punk, whatever, because you're not allowed to voice it because you got to be the man in the house. But yet you 18 years old who's still a freaking kid, you don't know how to be the man in the house. So it's a big toxic cycle.
Facts. And
Like
that,
I'm almost in tears right now telling y'all how I feel
I
because I
agree
don't really
100%.
do. I explode.
Uh,
I explode
Right.
like this because I
The
do
question I
not
would
want
have
nobody
is,
else to go through this shit.
and the
I do
question I would
not
have
want
is, have
another
you had a
person to
chance
go
to
through that.
shed your tears?
Always. I don't hold my shit back no more. I can't. If I do, I'm gonna destroy shit.
Good.
I do not. I know how to release. I don't. I can. One thing I learned when I was going through depression was I cannot hold myself because I am not nobody's rock. A rock is a cold mineral. And I am a human being, and I'm a man, and I have feelings. You can say whatever you want about me, or Mikey Soft, he be crying and shit. If you back me in the corner, you're gonna find out how much of a rock I really am. So me releasing, I have to because I'm dangerous. You can say what you want, but by holding that shit in, it's like it just explode. And then 2 seconds later, I feel sorry for what I did. But you can't always apologize for that eruption.
right. Now, we're going to, this is something we talked about, I said earlier. I think everybody on the screen is a bonus dad, right?
A who?
Bonus dad, like a stepfather.
Yeah.
But I say,
Oh yeah.
I say we don't do step parenting.
No, sir.
Hell no.
No, sir.
You know what I mean? We call
It start looking like
I
you
say
after
the
a
bonus
while.
dad.
Right. Hey, when somebody say how many kids you got, I say 7.
I got 4.
I say the same thing. I got 3. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, I got 3
I don't need to
kids.
explain, but if you want to know, I'll tell you, but I don't need to explain.
Mhm.
But
Them girls belong to me.
it's a. Is it really as slippery a slope as some people try to make it out to be?
What?
Step parent?
Being a step parent.
It's not. All right, so listen.
Stop being a
Yeah,
step
depends on how you
parent.
look at it.
Being a bonus parent.
All right, so
Like
Steve.
you saying step parent.
All right, so look, I'm gonna tell you like this. So the first time I became a bonus parent was not a good experience, and hence the reason you don't hear me say I got 9 kids. I raised 9 kids, but I say I got 7. And that's because no love lost. I love those first 2. I love them. But I don't go around saying they're my kids. And that's because the situation was so toxic. I wasn't allowed to be a real father to them. It was like a separation in a house. It was her and her 2 kids and me and my son. And we just all happened to live together in the same house. I just happened to pay for everybody. And I mean, she did her thing. I'm not gonna take away from her. She paid her share. But when it came down to making decisions and really being a parent, I didn't have much of a, well, I had a say, but she had a overrule. She was the judge. So it was like, for me to get in a relationship where I came into a relationship with somebody who had 4 kids, and all she wanted me to do was not take their father's place because their father was there. All she wanted me to do was to treat them like they were mine and not to make them feel like they weren't mine. And it was a whole different experience. And that's where I learned so much from that experience and them, because I had a whole different mindset on it because of where I came from before. So when you say that slippery slope, I went into, when I broke up from that situation, I said I ain't dating no chick that got kids, because I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. But the heart want the heart, the mind, all that stuff. And then God put me in a position where I'm with somebody with 4 and I couldn't even fight it. But it was a different experience. I mean, from the break, it was a different experience. And I mean, like, shoot, it's about 15 years later, and them kids still in my life, even though I'm not in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nothing has ever changed. I mean, Christmas this year was the best I had in a long time, to have all of them around with the grandbabies, and man, it was awesome.
That's the shit.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like the fact of the matter that I get along with their fathers. You know what I'm saying? I get along with their mother. I get along with their fathers. They can come in my house and get along with my wife. You know what I mean? And it's like people would look at us when our older daughters graduated and see a picture with me and the fathers and be like, hey, how y'all do that? Because we grown. Because this is how it's supposed to be. It's about the kid. It's not about the relationship. I don't want her no more. You don't want her no more. All that is done. It's about the kid. And that's what, like, when you go into that situation, you have to know it's about the kid. So you have to love that kid as much as you love your biological kids, or it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Ain't you getting in that situation at all. My daughters, they're mine. I don't care what their father say. He's a good dude. I can't even say that because I know him a little bit. You know, I've been around him, but I just don't call. I'm gonna say I guess he a good dude, but he just wasn't a good father.
And that's possible. You said it about your own.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, but with being a stepdad or a bonus dad, when it came down to it, only early situations was rough for me because um I still was young and I wasn't, you know, when I met her, I was still young. And then I only had one child and then she had two and they girls. And I'm still walking through the house thinking I could stomp through the house. When I stomp through the house, everybody turn into kittens. I ain't used to that. You know what I mean? So now you gotta learn how to be a dad. A long time ago, I wrote this poem about a dude walking through this path and going through all these adventures and how the dude with a father went through at a short time and the dudes that's without a father went through the wrong fork in the road, stuck his foot in something that looked like water and it was actually lava. It was just a crazy post. I mean, I never showed anybody, but it was just something that I wrote. And it was all about how every day for us was trial and error. Everything I did as a father was trial and error. Because I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I was around my uncles and with their kids, but I didn't see it. So everything I did as a parent, and sometimes my mistakes were huge because they had to do with children. You know what I mean? It was sometimes I was fussing about things. I blew up before I even knew to listen. So now I'm on a talk show that we created called Let Me Talk. So I gotta listen. I'm a talker. I had to learn how to listen. My daughters taught me how to be a father, bruh. I tell them all the time. They taught me how to be a father because I had to cater to their ways. In order for them to respect me and you know, because their dad wasn't there. And I had to be better. I wasn't good at first. Cause I'm a product of the streets. So you know, we come in the house, you have a bad day out there on them streets, you bring it home. Your kids ain't ready for that shit. So now at the beginning, before I walk through the door, I gotta boom. What am I supposed to do? I can't go in here like this. You know what I mean? I'm at the door literally calming myself down before I go in my house.
Mike, but you know what you describing? You're not describing being a bonus dad. You describing being a dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
Like,
I am. Shit, you
no,
know
no, no,
I
no.
am.
I'm not taking away, but like the fact of the matter that you were saying, like you were the best father figure that they saw.
Oh yeah, they know.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't the only father figure that my bonus kids saw. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
right,
So
right.
it was a real thin line of where to cross and not to cross. You know what I'm saying? It took a long time for, you know, to get to that point where though, like the only thing I was a support system.
Yeah, I ain't
You know
had
what
to
I'm
deal with
saying?
that shit. Yeah.
When it came to PTA meetings, I wasn't invited. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
When it came to parenting decisions, I wasn't. All I could do was advise my wife at the time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I wasn't invited. So it was only till later that I learned how to really, really, really be a dad and still play, play my part without overstepping. You know what I'm saying? Because those other two dudes was good dudes. And
Right.
I'm glad that we were able to be on one accord and communicate, even at times without the mother involved. You know what I'm saying? Because they saw how they kids respected and looked at me, and they saw my best interest for their kids as I did in my own. You know what I mean? So it's like the difference there is your kids only saw you. So you had a kind of bigger burden on your back.
Mm-hmm. True.
Oh, my phone died.
Yeah, you definitely gotta plug your phone up when you on this.
When you use the StreamYard joint, if you ain't on a laptop, make sure your phone plugged up the whole time because the stream will. So to you, Rick, what do you think are some of the benefits of being a bonus dad? You know what I mean?
You talking benefits now?
Yeah.
The benefit of being a bonus dad, one is that I think the biggest benefit is if you're accepted into it, and like from the mother.
Fact. That's
a
big fact. Biggest fact.
That was one of the big things I had from my wife. It's like, I know she had a 3-year-old by the time we started dating, and I was where I come from. We don't call you step or whatever. My I have half my family is adopted, honestly, but you would never know because that's how we just roll. You just once you in, you blood. So I used to ask my wife. I said, "Well, are you expecting me to be just your man, or are you expecting me to also be a father?" She's like, "No, I want you to be a father." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So once we had that understanding, that was great. Now, me and the child's father, we actually had to sit down before I got married, and we discussed it. And we have an open line of communication, and I say all this mutual respect, where I'll let him know and say, "Listen, I'm going to treat your son just like he was my own son, just like his last name was really Johnson. That's how I'm going to treat him." And he expected that. So it's been. I mean, of course, sometimes you may have disagreements or certain things that you might need to talk out, but you don't ever do that in front of the kid.
Right.
You always got to shield the kid from that. You do that behind closed doors. I mean, and you say what you need to say and whatever, you move on. But I mean, when you're able to talk to both parents, both biologicals, and then everybody understands, okay, I'm planning to treat this kid like my own, then that gives you all the bonus. Now they respect you. You may not have no legal rights, but at least now you respect it, and everybody respects each other. So.
Word. And I mean, I asked that because like I said, when I have me and Kanaja Day, we got a good rapport. You know what I mean? Like we talk and we see each other, we whatever. If she would get in trouble in school, me and him would talk or whatever. Him and Cameron would talk. So it was never an issue of like we was at odds. And I think, like you said, I think that was definitely a plus, because the last thing you want to do is be at odds and you're trying to build.
Right.
Family. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a plus when you don't have to deal with that aspect, because I know a lot of dudes that have had to deal with that aspect. It's like they love the mother so much and they trying to do right by the mother and by the kid, but the father won't. You know what I mean? Like it's always an issue at some stop. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, Mikey, because one thing I will say, you and Ice, y'all both have said that y'all dads didn't really play big parts in your lives, but you have never said that held you back from being a father.
Mentally, it's go
like,
ahead.
That's a plus. Like I commend y'all for that, because like I said, we just talked about the dudes that say, "Well, I ain't have a father in my life," and the child now 25, 26 years old, and you still saying, I ain't have a father in my life, so I couldn't. So I always appreciate the fellas who didn't have that dynamic growing up, but are able to extend that dynamic because they saw what happened and they didn't want that to happen. So definitely kudos to you and Ice on that one. You know what I mean? And because like I can't say that I didn't have my dad in my life. I can say that him and my mom was separated for the majority of my life, but I can't say I didn't have him in my life. And I honestly think that he wouldn't have let no shit like that happen anyway. You know,
Right.
because of the dude he was. You know what I mean? Was he perfect? No, but I don't think he would have let it be a thing of where he can't or he don't want to be around me and my brothers. You know what I mean? So I like to think that that's one of the qualities that I got from him when it comes to me being a father is knowing that like regardless of what me and your mom go through, like I'm still your father and certain shit's still gonna be in effect. You know what I mean? Like if you got to be grounded, you still gonna be grounded. If you got to be whatever, it's still gonna be that. You can't take, so I just wanted to have this conversation again because I feel like it's not enough. It's not had enough. This
It's not.
conversation isn't had enough. I feel like us as black men have to sit every day and we look at all these depictions of us, and very few of those depictions are of us sitting and talking about being positive role models and being fathers and not contributing to that cycle that we see so many other of our brothers and young sons and nephews and cousins go through. Because like I said, think about it, like even us as family, you might know some cousins that you got and their father wasn't there. And your dad may have stepped up, or your uncle stepped up and took care of them. You know what I mean? Because they knew that they needed that role model. And like I said, and with that, when I was in California, like that was my mom's dad, my grandfather, and my uncle. And they knew they saw me wild, and they tried to keep me centered and balanced because they knew, okay, you need to put in your this now. So, or you need this, or you need to be around us. You know what I mean? And so I respect it. I respect it a lot. And like I said, this is dedicated to those guys. It's dedicated to the fathers, the stepfathers, the grandfathers, the uncles, the father figures, those dudes that get up every day and say, regardless of what's going on, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to do what I need to do to take care of you. And not just monetarily, but physically, spiritually as well. And that's something else I wanted to ask you too, Ricky. Like, how important is that? How important is that spirituality when it comes to family? How important does that go into what?
I'm sorry, you sound like you going out on water. You said how important is what spirituality?
How important does spirituality play when it comes to parenting? How important should we make that?
All right, spirituality I feel should be a bedrock for anything. However, it's got to be good spirituality. A lot of times we can teach the wrong spirituality. We can teach the wrong things, or say God wants you to do this, and really far off from what good and what you do. So I think good spirituality is what matters. So of course I'm gonna be kind of biased with that, but yeah, being able to teach your kids that God loves you despite your mistakes or whatever, and that's where the importance is. I don't think spirituality should just be done for spirituality's sake. Don't just use church as a good luck charm. Don't try to or that's what a lot of people do. Some people will come and want to bring the kids to church to get them baptized, even though they don't even go to church. So it's like, why are we doing this? Why are you going to get your kids baptized in something that you don't even really participate in? So I'm not saying that what I was saying is that don't try to just use church as just as a coverall. If you have a real relationship or whatever with God or whatever it is that you believe in, that allow you to become a better person, then yes, that should be what you also instill into your family as well. But don't just use it as a good luck charm. I hope that makes sense. If I need to rephrase it, I will.
Absolute sense.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Absolute sense. Like I said, man, like we all just we're not even necessarily looking for I'm not even necessarily looking for like no right answer, because everybody's gonna walk away with a different perspective. You know what I mean? We can all be in agreement about a lot of things, but we'll always have a different perspective when it comes to. So like this conversation, like I'm just throwing questions out there because I see people watching. We got people watching. If y'all want to join in, we still got time left. Y'all know, just hashtag let me talk, and we will add you to the conversation. But again, this is one of those conversations that I feel like we need to do more of, and we need to talk about, because, like you said, if we just sitting around and everybody just sitting around not trying to spread this or trying to just lead by example, then we're going to have a lot more kids lost, and we're going to have a lot more families that's broken because we're not putting this in the forefront. And I feel like it should be put in the forefront some kind of way. I feel like
Absolutely.
we should, and just like I said, just like we talk about moms, and I did the single mom check-in because I felt like, a lot of times single moms bear the brunt of a lot of stuff that they shouldn't. And a lot of times that's because the dad's not in the picture, or he's not doing what he should do as a father. So that mother has to deal with these things. And one of the biggest debates always is I speak about this because I feel like the child support system should try to preach a little bit more togetherness rather than separation.
There ain't no way. They
But
wouldn't
listen
be
what
able
I'm
to
saying. Listen what
defend
I'm
it.
saying. Listen what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, and this is something we always say, Mikey, it was developed for a reason.
Exactly.
It was made for a reason.
Exactly.
Like, we're not gonna sit here and act like this is just something that came out of the blue and somebody sat there and said, you know what? I'm gonna make him miserable. I'm gonna find a way for him to have to pay me every month until this child is 18. Like, nah. Like, at the end of the day, you're supposed to take care of your child. And the fact that somebody has to force you to do it is fucking crazy to me. You know what I mean? That's just the weirdest shit I've ever heard in my life. But you have some situations where the mothers don't want the father to be a part of their life, but they will take the money. You know what I mean? But you also have somewhere the mother don't want to put them on child support. I just want you to do what you got to do. That's it. I'm not asking you for nothing extra. I'm not asking you to pay no bills. I'm just asking you, if I call you and say, hey, he got a field trip, I need $45. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
AC. But what happened to those ones where you is doing what you supposed to do? You
And
is,
I spoke on that a little bit. Like I said, I'm not saying that don't happen. I'm
yeah.
not saying that there's some women out there that use child support, like they weaponize child support. I'm
But you
not
know what
saying
happens? See, you know what happens behind closed doors that we don't notice? Um, you don't get a break from parenting.
No,
facts,
no.
Dudes actually can
facts,
take breaks from parenting.
facts.
I didn't realize it until I started growing up how easy for me it was to just say I'll be back. Even though I was there
Mm,
with her, she had to find babysitters, or she had to make arrangements. Man, you ain't going nowhere today. You staying here with the kids.
Yeah.
All right, but it was so. What we don't notice that we don't see a lot of times is women don't have. It's like almost like a woman don't have a choice because you can say, well, nah, I don't feel like this shit today. You know what I mean? But she can't get that break, and then we act like you can't see it, but it's there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
it's
I don't
completely there.
really, I don't feel, I don't, all those things that they say is totally excuses to me because it was times Frida was like, listen, I need to get up out of here. I'm like, as I was ready to go such and such. Well, you gonna have to change your plans this time.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? It
Right,
was
right,
like,
right.
I'm not for it. I'm like, you know what? But it still was a negotiation.
Yeah,
Women don't get the negotiation all the time. So I don't feel sympathy for those dudes at all because like I said, they just don't have and I real like when Mike was here, luckily Mike got a little bit older because when he first came and it was just me and him in here, I had to limit my life. I didn't have a girlfriend. Man, I was on that cut loose tip. I'm like, ass, I can't cut loose here. You know what I mean? I can't just keep holding out here. You know what I'm saying? So as he got older, it was a little bit more free, but there couldn't be in and out of my house. I couldn't keep bringing different females in and out of my house. I had to limit myself on certain things. I even had to limit my conversations because I was talking to more than one female, and I'm listening, and I don't want him hearing that shit upstairs, noticing that there's all these different voices or different people coming. So I didn't have a choice but to change my life over.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So now I see what the women feel.
But you didn't get that feeling until you was put in that position.
Damn right. Women
what I'm
put in that
saying?
position their whole damn time.
Exactly.
They baby. So that's why I
Exactly.
don't sympathize with them dudes with that shit. Man, there's
So-
people that'll hit
so-
me up there, like when we had these conversations, right? I ain't mean to cut you off, but let me just say this real. We'll be having these conversations, and women hit you up like, "Oh my baby daddy, this, blah, blah, blah," and you be like, "Damn, I ain't even know he was like that." You know what I mean? He don't be wanting to do this. He be cussing. You know what? I ain't even think that dude was like that. That's because we
Yeah.
don't see what's going on behind closed doors, and then we like, nah, that man ain't like that shit. Dirty
So
rat.
this statement I'm getting ready to say, I mean, it's a true or false. This is something I've seen on Facebook a lot. Put a man in a position of a single mother, and he will fold every time.
Hell
That's
no.
false. That's
True or
false.
false?
That's
Hell
false.
no.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say? It all depends on that upbringing of that man. The
Thank
reason
you. All right, there you go.
the reason I didn't fold when I was put in that position, like I said, I'm gonna track that back. I was never a single father, but as situations when me and my ex-wife separated, it was best that my son lived with me during the week. So I was put in that situation. If I needed to go somewhere, I had to find a babysitter.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He was with me Monday through Friday because I was closer to the daycare. She lived further away. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that, she abandoned my child or nothing like that. No, that was the situation.
Good living arrangements.
I stepped up. But the fact of the matter that the reason I didn't fold was because I was raised by a whole rack of women, and they taught me how to take care of a home. They taught me how to cook, how to clean, how to sew, how to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? If my son mother was a deadbeat, we would have been okay. We would have been okay. Trust me.
Right.
Word. So you said false. What about you, Ricky? True
I
or
said
false?
depends.
You say it depends.
It depends.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
I mean, I think some. I mean, like I just said, there's some dudes that will be able to hold it down, but I think there's some dudes that don't. Just like there's some women that don't hold it down.
That don't.
Right.
I mean, so that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna
I know the
spark that a
majority
little
do.
bit
Yes,
later.
so
We're gonna spark that a
don't get me
little bit
blocked.
before we shut down. We're gonna spark that convo a little bit before we shut down.
You already know.
Go
You
ahead. Yeah, I
already
already
know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
It's false.
absolutely.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you gonna
Because
say?
it's all the one word you said that means everything, and that's man.
Man.
I don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck who you are. If you a man and you consider yourself as a man, and you had unprotected sex and you brought a child in this world, you can handle that. You little boys out here that got all these excuses about how tough life is. Life is what it is. I don't care. The same way a woman said that she sat in the house sometimes and she cried because she was alone taking care of a child. I walk through this joint sometimes like, oh my God, especially when he got sick. I give Mike his medicine and send him on his way. A mother lays down with him. I told Frida like, nah, sometimes you gotta let him come in the room with you. I ain't want to hear that. That's exactly what he needed. He didn't just need me to give him medication. He needed to lay down with me too. So I didn't know that, but she taught me that, but I didn't want to hear it from her first. Then I had to realize and be a man and put my differences aside with her and my ego down and hold the fort down. A man can do the same exact things as women, except for we just can't bear a child. But it all depends on that one word. If you make a child and you cannot take care of your child, to me, you are not a man. Because what if their mother died at birth? My mother always told me if her and my father died when I was born, I still would have to be a productive citizen.
Facts. which
So
is why,
you don't have unprotected sex.
which is why I said, how long are we allowed to give somebody the room to use the excuse I didn't have a father in my life? And that's why I said, Ice, your phone had died when I made the statement, but I told Mikey, I commend both of y'all, man. I give y'all extra props because both of y'all have said, starting out early in life, y'all didn't have a relationship with your dad, but you didn't use that as a roadblock to not be a good father. You know what I mean?
Motivation, B.
Motivation.
Absolutely,
You know why?
absolutely.
It was because of all the stuff that I now,
Expected
hold on, let
from
me take.
him.
I didn't miss out on nothing. I didn't want for nothing. I didn't miss out on nothing. The only thing that I didn't have was to go to him for this and go to him for that and get his acknowledgement for this and acknowledgement for that. And honestly, I didn't even realize until I was older in life how much I missed it.
Yep.
Once I got older, I realized, like, damn, I needed that. But one thing I can say about him, my dad been gone for a long time. But one thing I can say, when he finally something clicked inside his head and say, my son need me, he stepped up and he was there. You know what I'm saying? My first time I had to go to court for my first charge, my mother said, I'm going to work. You made that decision. You better
Right.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, look, I'm getting dressed for court, right? Hey, you ready, Ma? She said, ready for what? I'm going to work. You ain't going to court with me?
Hell no. Right.
Yo, when I tell you, like, you never think that your mom not going to be there for you.
Yeah.
But she was like
That's
this.
big facts.
You made that decision, and I got a life to live.
I ain't ready you to do that shit.
Yo, but guess what? When I got to the courthouse, the first person I saw was my father.
Yeah.
That changed that whole relationship, bro. No. That changed that whole relationship from the time I was 20 until he passed. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow. Yeah. This dude took off from work. He took off from work when my mother said, I'm not taking off from work.
You ain't got that. Yeah, and they by yourself looking crazy.
Hey,
ain't none of your parents here with you, boy. Right. Wow, your ass going down.
Well, guess what? Even at 20 years old, I still felt like that kid.
Yeah,
I still felt like that kid, and I'm going in front of judge for something that I decided to do. I decided to sell drugs. I decided to, do everything that my mother told me not to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she was like, if you want to do everything I told you not to do, I'm going to work, and you as an adult deal with this.
I tell people all the time, my mother raised me like she was supposed to. The foul shit I did that shit on my own.
Damn right.
That shit ain't had nothing to do with a lack of love, a lack of guidance, a lack of nothing. That shit had to do with me being out there playing stupid games and winning dumbass prizes.
Yeah. My mother whipped my ass so much when I was young. There's no way I would got caught by the police.
And I still did dumb shit.
I was
outside right after the ass whooping to go do some dumb shit.
Hey, I don't care what I did. All I thought about was not letting her find out. I escaped everything. Everything I ever did when I was young, I escaped. That's why they called me foolish.
Got arrested, told me to call my father. I got arrested. I'm sitting at over Taylor's. I told him, call my father.
Yeah.
It was like, well, your mother, what's your mother? No. You ain't hear what I said. Call my father.
Right.
I'll let him cuss. Please do not call Loretta.
Right.
Please do not call Loretta over here to Taylor Avenue pick me up. Call my father.
See, when I got arrested the first time, they put me in a police car in my parking lot, and somebody went knocked on my mother's door and said, Miss Taylor, they knocked ice up.
Slam up.
And the crazy part, when I got arrested, you know how my father found out? Poopadoo father, Lonzo.
Oh, for real?
Lonzo saw me getting handcuffed and put in the car. He worked with my father at the housing authority and called and said, hey, yo, what did your son have on when he left out the house this morning? And my father told him. He said, yeah, they picking him up off the ground, putting him in the police car right now. You know what I mean? And peace to him, yo, Lonzo Brown, Poopadoo Pops, yo, Lonzo Brown, him and my pops was best friends, yo. And
Yeah.
when my pops passed, yo, that dude came to Virginia, yo, and he didn't let me or my brother sit and wallow at all, at any of that time. Like, if he would see us getting in that mode, he would just start a conversation and be talking about some wild shit. Him and my pops,
Go sit down.
like just to keep us out of that mode. So, and he passed away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rest
Yeah.
in peace to him, Lonzo Brown. Like, good
Stop.
fucking dude, yo.
Dang.
And like and he got his own kids, and he still took time to be a father figure to me and my
Hello.
brother because his best friend died. You know what I mean? So, like, that just brought back, you know, when I'm sitting there and I told Poopadoo, I said, yo, like, he was like, that's crazy. Our fathers was best friends and we wasn't closer. I said, that's wild, right? But I said, you know, things are the way they are. You know what I mean? But me and him always got a good rapport. We sit and rant and talk. We talk about our pops, and you know what I mean. So, and that was just a moment I was having. But like I said, I ultimately winding down. Like, I appreciate y'all
Yeah.
for being a part of this conversation. Like, because I know Rick, I had told her when we did the brother check-in, I said, yo, if the hubby can be a part of it, please let him know.
Yeah,
You know what I
before you
mean?
join in.
Yeah. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for joining us for this conversation, man.
Yeah, I
And,
got you, yo. Cause I like how you put stuff, like the way you word things. We cuss a lot, and
let me
you put
talk.
things in a different forms there, and we clearly understand. You know what I mean? Because especially I like because I don't do anything without first giving God grace and everything. But it's good to hear things, you know, in different terms and the way stuff has to be, because if whoever's listening, we might can help them. Knowing, you know, like that's why I say I like being an open book for people. I learned to do that when especially for me, that's what helped me with therapy. Because like I always say, my therapy for my depression, I did it myself, but I had to be an open book. Looking in the mirror was one of the hardest things I had to do.
Mhm.
So that's why I can tell you everything I went through, because I looked in that mirror and was like, well, are you man enough to stop somebody else from doing this? And I don't always have the big words or the training to help them. So if I tell my story and show that I survived it, I think I can help people, because I was dirty, and I felt filthy for a long time in my life, because I could hurt people at a split second, and then now you can't get me to hurt nobody. Like, I refuse to put my hands on somebody unless they put me in a bad situation. I found what love is, and when I found what love is, it came through me. And self-love, I have self-love, and I really have achieved what it is to be a man. I don't care what nobody says. I still make mistakes. I'm still human, but as far as being a man, I am. You know, I really am.
But Mike, I need to say this, bro, because I hear you say that a lot. You know how you was dirty or whatever, and that's your truth. You know what I'm saying? But coming from somebody who came up under you, all you ever been to me was a big brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I didn't agree with a whole lot of stuff you did. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, while you was doing the grimy stuff, you still was a big brother to like 25 dudes
Yeah.
who looked up to you. And regardless of what you was doing and this and that and the third, you always try to make sure we was walking a different path. You know what I'm saying? You don't give yourself enough credit for that. But I just want to let you know that you always had that big brother mentality with us, and you was always like our protector. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it, I know a lot of them dudes will never give you those props.
Yeah, they don't have to. I already know.
No, but they don't have to. But I came up with you with them, and I know how you felt. You love and care for people who ain't give a shit about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
you would go and make sure somebody had when it was times that nobody else would. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's why, man, you got that relationship we got is like, and we like 4 or 5 years apart. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the respect and the relationship that we'll have forever is because of the way that you embrace your homeboys coming up down 20.
That's why they turned me into a grumpy old man. I be sitting in this bitch sometimes like, hey. No, but I feel you though, man. Like I appreciate hearing that because people don't know it, but to the things that we did, it's because when you don't have, y'all was like my comfort zone. Because all of us basically had the same issues. We didn't have dads. So
Nah.
when you growing up and you go through things like that, you tend to go around like-minded people.
Mhm.
And that's where that love came from. That love came from the fact that, all right, I'm a little bit older than you. Our fathers are older than us. Why would I treat you the same way I didn't like to be treated? And that's because I came to you for something, just like you came to me for something, and and it was to be comfortable with being a male. That's all we did. We made it comfortable for being men without dads. So you did the same thing for me that I did for you. I just was a little bit more wilder, and I was a protector. I always been a protector, but I always been a protector in bad ways. Like I would try to destroy somebody else to protect y'all. It's other ways that you could have did that.
Even if we tell you stop. Even if we tell you no, might be chill.
I tell you, once I zapped, and it wasn't a good thing. You feel me? But yeah, I appreciate you, man. And like I say, it's good to hear that stuff because I'm still battling with who is. I can't say who I was because just like if you use drugs, you still a drug addict for the rest of your life. That
Yeah.
ain't those anger issues. Sometimes they come back on me, and sometimes, man, I still be dreaming about people that I hurt, yo. Like, that shit haunt my dreams, and I still man up to it, and I live through days. Sometimes I can't sleep at all. I toss and turn, and I had I let that shit make me drink a lot, all that shit. So I fight a lot of demons, but they won't defeat me because I pray every morning, and once I pray, the first thing I say is, no matter what happened today, everything gonna be all right. Ain't no use praying if you ain't gonna believe in it, and I believe in prayer.
And so before we close out, I want to thank y'all again, man. Like I said, this is one of them conversations that needed to be had. We need to continue this conversation. And I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Like I said, it just always start with a conversation, man. Like I feel like
That's it.
anybody can sit down and talk about what's on their mind. I feel like you can kind of say whatever it is that's on your mind, and you can get your point across, and that other person across the table can too. You just got to give them a chance to, and you're gonna walk away with a different perspective. You don't have to agree, but at least you said what you had to say, and you let that person express themselves. And I appreciate y'all brothers for joining me tonight, man.
Hey, C,
Yo,
before we go, and before you do all your little appreciating little thing you do, everybody got a friend right here. Take one less than a minute and tell a friend that's a deadbeat dad. Tell them something. Start with you, Ice.
Man, look, I'm gonna be like this, and I'm gonna keep it a band. I don't associate with deadbeat dads because that's against how I feel. So if I even see that you being a deadbeat dad, I'm already telling you how wrong you are.
facts.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to condemn you, but I'm just trying to show you that these kids ain't asked to be here, bro. They didn't ask to be here. And you may not have all the money that the mother asking for all the time. And even if she don't want you to see the kid, a lot of times you need to know your rights. You just as much parent as she is, and you have to know your rights. So, none of my kids' mother will ever keep me from my kids. I mean, they grown now, but try to keep me from my kid, and that it wouldn't happen.
Go
But
dig Johnny Cochran up and get
right,
your ass.
everybody don't know their rights. And if I was dealing with a deadbeat dad, I would just let them know, like, bro, put yourself in that kid's shoes and realize that kid didn't ask to be here, and it's your responsibility to help raise that kid. Not just pay for that kid, help raise that kid, because that kid gonna grow up and that kid's gonna grow up and blame you for a whole lot that you did, that you wasn't there for, that you could be there for. Don't punish that kid because you was in a bad relationship. That's all. Don't punish the kid because you was in a bad relationship.
All right, Ricky, on you, Ricky.
Man, look, Dante said it all. Sorry, I said it all, honestly.
Man, I'm both.
DJ Dante. Hey.
I don't know if I'm allowed to use the government name or the DJ name. So either way. No, I mean, you said it both. Like, don't punish the kid. But the thing I would say is that understand your role or lack of role is going to help determine what this kid is going to be.
Yep.
You know, whether if you're in the kid's life and you're being active, you know, even if you don't have, you know, money or whatever, if you're active in the kid's life, that's going to help you know, them go in the right positive way. If you're not active, that could lead to some resentment. You know, that could lead to some mistrust. That could lead to them hating Father's Day, like as y'all were talking about at the top of the hour. So, I mean, how you act to this kid that you have created, to this life that you have brought to the earth, that's going to determine help to determine how you're going to be. So be mindful of what you create and foster what you have created. You know, God gave you a gift, whether you ask for it or not. It's a gift that you had.
Yeah,
well, I won't say whether you asked for it or not, whether you were responsible with it or not. You know, whether you covered it or not, you have a gift that's here. Protect that gift. You know, foster that gift. You know, don't just let it, you know, be all on the mom or whatever. You take care of what you have.
Simple and plain.
Pretty much.
All I would say is real talk. You do not understand how long it takes a person to repair themselves from something so natural as not having a dad. It's totally expected of you to be a parent, and it's all of it. There's no part-time parenting. There's no such thing. You on vacation, you still parenting. You got to call back home and make sure everything's straight. There's no, I'm gonna cut it short. All I'm gonna tell you is this: it's taken me a lifetime to heal. I have not healed, but I'm better. Don't put your kid through that. I'm so happy that can't none of my kids say exactly what I'm saying to you right now. They cannot say it. If they tell you that shit, they lying. That's it.
You said it all on that one too. I'm just like, when you said you can't, I mean, I was about to type in the chat, like, look, I got one more. You're right. You cannot part-time parent.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as part-time parent. Parenting is not when it's convenient for you. It's not when you feel like it. It's not when you feel good. It's not when you just got time. You got to parent 24/7. The mother has to do it, so does the father.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of if you're in the house or not, you're supposed to always be a damn parent. Sorry, I'm done now.
That's all great. It's all great. We let you talk. This is called Let Me Talk. Man.
That's what it is.
Give me the list.
You know what I mean? But I'm gonna say this: when it comes to when you find out you're gonna be a father, you have to be high-minded. When you find out that once you start raising them children, you're gonna have to remain high-minded. As a father and knowing someone who didn't do what he should have done to raise his sons, and seeing them both flourish and be productive adults, knowing that he did the bare minimum, damn near nothing for them, I'm proud of them. That makes me that much more proud of them. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, you got a choice every day when you wake up as a parent. You got a choice every day to build or destroy. Every day. Every day you got that choice. And it's either your child is important enough to do it or they not.
Man, you said a mouthful right there.
If they're not that important to you, then if somebody else that's there that's gonna do it, let them do it. And back out the way.
All right.
You know what I mean? But on that note, gentlemen, again, I appreciate y'all, man. And I appreciate y'all for joining the conversation, man. And I hope y'all will come back. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be other conversations. I would love to have all y'all panel on again. You know what I mean? But on that note, for those of y'all that might have missed it at the beginning, we're gonna go ahead and leave y'all out with a little bit of this Prosperity Band crank from the Spring Fling.
You dig?
Region. You know what I mean? And,
Hey, thanks y'all, man.
Appreciate
y'all.
Shout out my boo. She did a little movie, got a little movie
I
roll on yesterday.
seen that.
Got her little movie joint. She went to be an extra. They ended up needing a bartender in the movie. So what's the name of the movie?
Coyote Ugly.
Hey yo, come on, yo. Hey yo, you ain't gonna speak on my wife Triumph like that, yo.
My man.
Hey Mike, Vibrant Sunday, day party, Nottingham.
Come on, man.
Will you be up there?
Yeah, I'm getting off early this Sunday. I'm gonna go slide through.
Man, call me.
I got you.
I'll be in North Carolina at this battle, yo.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end with that tonight, fellas. I appreciate y'all again. And thank everybody for joining us. And we're gonna go out with Prosperity Band.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all be good.
Moving up a click, moving up a click, moving up a click, moving up a click, going on the deck, going on the deck, all about the Buddha, all about the Buddha.
I wrote the song. Mike didn't write the song. I wrote the song. People know that. I did all the choreography. That's all me.
All about the Buddha, all about the Buddha, word to the word.
Yeah.
Moving up a click, going on the deck, going on the deck, going on the deck. All about the Buddha, all about the Buddha, word to the word. Moving up a click, going on the deck, going on the deck, going on the deck. All about the Buddha, all about the Buddha. I got 1, 2, 3, 3. All the way to Patrick Jones. And we do say, down out the way. This is you got a point.